Greetings, good day. This is Donnie with TechWinner. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I just want to talk a little bit about a way that you can enhance your Ring battery-powered cameras. And yes, it can be annoying. It can be frustrating when you've got to unplug these things and you've got to go charge them up, and you got to remember where your cable is for them. You got to figure out where you're going to plug it in, and then you got to sit and wait hours for this thing to top back off so that it becomes useful again. So unless you want to stockpile a bunch of these $30 batteries, which I don't think you do, there is a better way. So let's talk through what that better way is today. So without any further ado, let's dive in and let's take a look. So guys, we've talked about some of the different Ring camera options that are available, whether that is some of the video doorbell models, which now is pretty complicated. You almost have to be a subject matter expert to know all the different options that are out there as far as the doorbell is concerned, whether it's the Doorbell Pro, the Video Doorbell Pro 2, any of the Ring Doorbell Original, the 2, the 3, the 4. There's a lot of different models that are out there. And then you start adding in some of the other cameras like the Ring Stick-Up Cam, the Indoor Cam, the Floodlight Cam, the Spotlight Cam. We've talked about these separately in some of our previous videos, and I appreciate you guys joining me as we talk through those. But really, all of these different cameras fall into two distinct categories: powered cameras and cameras that require battery. So when I'm talking about a powered cam, I'm talking about one that actually plugs into power. And that can happen one of a couple of different ways. One, it could be hardwired into an electrical box, or in the case of a doorbell, use the existing wiring at your doorbell location. Or it could simply have a plug-in adapter that can be connected to the back of the camera and provide power. The second general category of Ring cameras are battery-powered devices. And these devices definitely give you more flexibility than some of the powered ones. Obviously, for a powered one, you need to be near electricity. You need to have some sort of wiring available for you to be able to hardwire to. And with those hardwired cameras specifically, they're not going to work if you don't have any type of hardwired solution nearby, whether that's an outlet or being able to plug it into an electrical box or into existing doorbell wiring. So tons of advantages with battery cameras because they give you far more flexibility in where you can locate your camera. However, in the case of Ring, there is a trade-off to going with a battery-powered camera. Wired cameras offer what's called pre-roll video, meaning that it's constantly doing this recording for a few seconds and then deleting it and then starting that process over again, recording, dumping that information until it sees something useful like a motion-triggered event. Once a Ring camera detects a motion-triggered event, it does begin recording, but with that pre-roll feature, it's going to add some additional seconds before the motion was actually picked up by the camera into the recording. Ring battery-powered devices do not have this feature, and I really don't ding them for that because the reality is for cameras to have a pre-roll feature, they need to constantly be checking and recording, and it would drain battery within a matter of hours or days in all cases if you had that turned on and enabled on a battery-powered camera. So it's no bueno. But there are absolutely advantages to having a battery-powered system. So powered devices, they're going to give you the pre-roll. They also have a little bit better motion detection typically because they're constantly scanning with a far wider array of sensors than a battery-powered device. Ring simply goes very conservative when we're talking about battery-powered devices and just ensures that they're going to be as efficient as possible, meaning they'll last as long as possible between charges. So in my fleet of cameras, I have two battery-powered devices. One of them is a Ring Spotlight Cam that exists out on my shed on the back of my property. It actually has a slot for two batteries in it, which is super handy. I do have two batteries in it. That are, at least if one gets drained, the other one can still take over. It's almost like you get 200% worth of battery if you're looking at it inside the Ring app. The other battery-powered device that I have is a Ring Stick-Up Cam. It only has a slot for one battery inside of it. So when that one battery is exhausted, you end up replacing batteries more often, essentially. The nice thing, at least about the Spotlight, if you remove one of the batteries, you still have one going. You can charge it, and the camera doesn't really go down. With the Stick-Up Cam, it's a much bigger problem because simply the battery's gone, the camera doesn't work until you replace it with another charged battery. So one of the nice things that Ring does support with their battery-powered cameras like the Spotlight, like the Stick-Up, is solar panels. The nice thing about the solar panels are that if they are getting direct sunlight, they will do an efficient job of keeping your cameras topped off. So my Ring stick-up cam is in my front yard and it's pointed back towards my house, and I actually have it mounted onto a tree. And yes, even though it is mounted to a tree, it does get direct sunlight. So let me show you what that setup looks like. So this is a look from the actual camera of me just walking up to it just to kind of get a look at what that view looks like. And here is the actual setup I have. So this is a Ring solar panel and a Ring stick-up cam that I have, yes, actually mounted to the tree. So the nice thing about this, as far as the installation is concerned, you can see here is a couple of screws that are just mounted directly into the tree. I just used my drill, got it in there. The actual installation time on this was no more than a couple of minutes, honestly. So there is a little cable that's coming out of the back of that panel that then I have attached over into the back of that Ring stick-up cam. As you can see there, I've got the cable wrapped up. There's actually 14 feet worth of cable here. It can tilt and it can be detached from that base, so if you ever need to do any type of maintenance for it, or the install itself is very easy peasy. So one of the big things about these Ring solar panels are they do get dirty, and you have to be very careful with them. So I'm just kind of showing you here, this is what the cleaning process looks like for me, and don't laugh, but I use baby wipes for this, and they work very well, very effective cleaning. Especially for smooth surfaces like that. And yes, you can kind of see the grossness there that was just accumulating on those panels. So another second one just to kind of get all the edges cleaned off. Then I just use a paper towel, just a nice dry paper towel just to get it all cleaned off. And then I make sure that I get it before I leave just tilted back up towards the sun, just so that it continues to catch those sweet, sweet rays to charge up my camera and continue to keep it topped off. So the really nice thing about having that solar panel is that with just a few hours of direct sunlight on any given day, it does an efficient job of keeping the battery topped off inside of my camera. And you can look at it now even after the sun has set and the camera is still reporting that the battery is at 99%. And guys, this is a camera that's in a high traffic area for me. I have them all linked. They're all detecting motion. On any given day, I can have between 30 and 50 motion events that happen. So this camera gets a ton of usage on any given day. And that battery, guys, it continues to stay topped off. So, a couple of key pro tips for you to keep in mind as you're talking about installing these panels are these. One, you want to have it pointed towards the south, maybe gently towards the west as well. This camera, as you can see here, it actually is getting some direct sunlight. And what's odd and unusual about this is, yes, I have it mounted to a tree. So there are advantages and disadvantages. In this situation, it was a good place for me to have it just pointed back towards my property. But in the summertime, when there's actually leaves on this tree, which now it's almost winter and the leaves are gone, it doesn't get as much direct sunlight during the day. So I do have to be more aware of what's going on with that battery. I can see dips sometimes down into the 60s or 70s on it. But even with just a few hours of direct sunlight, which when the sun gets lower in the sky, it does keep the battery topped off. So it does a very good, efficient job of doing that. But as you can see in that video, one of the things that I do have to do, especially being near a tree, these things, they just get dirty. And you do want to clean them off every couple of months. And it's really easy to do, at least in my case. I don't have to get a ladder to do it. And I mean, even I would say 2, 3, 4 months. If you start seeing an issue with the battery not topping off like it should, cleaning those solar panels would be my first line of defense for making sure that they're getting topped off like they should. And yes, those were baby wipes, and they do the job very effectively. So guys, of my setup, I've got the Ring solar panel that I just showed you here on this video. I have another one that's attached to that Ring spotlight on the shed on my back of my property. It also does a good job keeping that topped off. I also have a product called the Ring floodlight, not to be confused with the Ring floodlight cam, that actually also supports these same Ring batteries, and it has a solar panel attached to it as well. And I have 2 batteries inside of it that also stay topped off at all times. So super convenient there. Honestly, I probably, in hindsight, could get away with just 1 battery and not going with a second one. But there can be times, especially in the winter, if you have multiple days that are overcast, you're not getting that direct sunlight, those batteries can drain, especially in winter. Just something to be aware of. And especially with cold temps, sometimes batteries drain faster as well. But on a good sunny day, it typically makes up for multiple overcast days. Just another nice thing to point out about these batteries when we're talking about Ring cameras, they all do use the same battery pack. It is the same proprietary pack. On the back of it, you do have like a micro USB adapter, and then there's also these metal pins over here that you can see. The camera actually does use those to charge up the device if needed. So the solar panel does have the ability to push power back into these batteries. But for those of you who have Ring battery cameras and you're tired of just constantly having to replace those batteries or swap them out or unplug them and be down for a while, guys, if you have a southern facing solution, I would totally consider buying one of these Ring solar panels. And guys, I've put a link in the description to grab one of those solar panels right now without any type of sale. They are priced for $49.99. In my experience of just dealing with unplugging batteries and charging them up and just the downtime, for me, that one-time cost, rather than just buying another $30 battery or another 2 of those $30 batteries, just going ahead and investing in that $50 solar panel for me has been very worthwhile. So guys, what about you? Are you already using Ring solar panels with your cameras? If so, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If not, I strongly encourage you to consider getting them. Guys, I have no regrets. Totally recommend it. It's made life a whole lot easier for me. It's that true set it and forget it. It's charging up my cameras. It's keeping them useful 24/7, 365. So guys, that's all for now. Ring solar panels, 2 thumbs up for me. Strongly recommend. I'm Donnie with TechWinner, helping you make winning decisions with your technology. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day.